Om Shanti and a very good evening to all of you. Welcome back to another session at Rajyoga Self-Healing Meditation. We are a YouTube channel, we are a non-profit channel, and we always come on every Sunday and we try to put on a beautiful understanding, sharing session for you where we bring in spirituality, we bring in yoga, we bring in Rajyoga, and we bring in different topics, even Ayurveda, which has been recently covered in our channel. And you can go ahead with the channel itself on YouTube, Rajyoga Self-Healing Meditation channel. And you can find out different topics, and even blessings on a daily basis in English and Hindi can be understood there. Direct godly blessings. So we are back again, and welcome back to all our listeners who are listening to us live on Zoom and who are there with us live on YouTube. So we have over here With us, Rajyogini BK Dr. AMARJIT Kaur DOOWA. She is currently living in Thailand, and she's done PhD from USA, MD from Australia. She's PG Counseling and Health in India. She's a Rajyoga practitioner, a teacher, universal spiritual guide, and a Sikh religious leader. Wonderful to have you, and you have done many humanitarian works, and you have even been awarded as Humanitarian Excellence Awardee in 2022, and you have been doing social and community service too, and especially during the COVID time, as you had shared with me. That's a lovely initiation from your side. Thank you for joining us again. We're having a second session with you, Doctor, and today we have a wonderful topic here, and we're going to cover a very heart-to-heart conversation and cover a very heart-to-heart topic, which is very close to you, which is Gurbani and spirituality and the wheel of time. So you came up with a very beautiful topic, had a discussion with you 2-3 days back, and we were thinking, what should we bring about for the listeners? And suddenly spirituality, Gurbani, and then you added the wheel of time. Would love to understand why the wheel of time was added over here in this topic. So, sister, what do you have to say about this topic itself? Let's go ahead with you. Let's listen to you.
Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. So we usually begin with 3 Om Shantis because first I stabilize myself as a soul. Then I have a connection with the Supreme Soul. And third, I'm playing a role on this world stage. You see, when we talk about world stage, we come into time. As a soul, in union with the Supreme Soul, there is no time, because soul means bodiless. This 5 elements body that you see, eyes, nose, mouth, the skin, the hair, this body. This body is just matter. And the life, I forgot to put a bindi today. Normally I always put a bindi to remind that I'm a soul. So this, me, the spiritual being inside this head, the seat of the soul is behind the eye. So me, that spiritual being, is giving this body life energy in order to survive. And, that's why in Gurbani, we say, Man tu Jyot Sarup hai. So Man tu Jyot Sarup hai gives you that idea that mind, you're not just thoughts. You have an identity, and that identity is the point of light. And that picture above your head, Parampreet, is beautiful to show. Your background, is beautiful. And also up there where I am, it's just a vision. Where artists depict it in different ways, but the point is that I am life energy, and I have an identity. It's not visible by these 2 eyes, and it's not touchable or feelable by any of these senses, 5 senses. So it's beyond 5 senses. So that's who I am, my identity as a spirit. Now, when we come on this realm earth, if we are spirits beyond 5 elements, just twinkling little stars, then we come into the womb of a mother. And then when we come out of the womb, in the Gurbani, today I related spiritual. You wanted me to talk on Gurbani. And I felt spirituality and Gurbani is one and the same. And the only difference we all have in the understanding is the human mind and its understanding of spirit, and the different ways it has been explained by humans, by people, by all people in different religions. So the core is we are a spirit, and that's indefutable. It's something that no one can argue with, that I'm, because even the healthiest of people can just go to bed or can just drop dead. They call it heart fail. There's no heart attack. There's no, you're not necessarily that you have any physical ailment at all. Time is up and you go. So when I as a spirit leave the human body, this whole human body becomes corpse. The eyes won't be able to see, in the corpse, the ears, everything is totally dead. It's just 5 elements. So you burn it and you bury it. Now, this life energy that I am, this sparkling point that you see behind you, that is who I am. And so I come in the womb of a mother. Now, when I come in the womb of a mother, it's just a cell and a sperm have intertwined, and the cell and the sperm have the energy of the mother, of the host, to sustain it, because all, like, the human body grows over time.
Right.
The human body, if you have to compare that, like the sun is out there, without the sun, we cannot flourish, the whole earth. So the soul is like the sun of this human body, and it cannot flourish. It can, when it's in the womb of a mother, to some extent, it can flourish on the mother's own soul, own energy inside.
Okay.
But then when you suddenly detect another heartbeat, actually a different spirit, a different soul has come to take charge. And then, even though it's relying on the mother's body for nourishment, the little embryo is having its own mind, its own life, its own tantrums. And that's why it can kick. And the mother, like, oh, I didn't tell it to kick, it's kicking. So it's become individual. Before that, it's just, so we when we understand these things, then and Gurbani talks about when the spirit is in the womb, that it remembers who it is, and it remembers Akal Purakh, God, Supreme Being,
right,
and where we all came from. And it actually, connects, and it promises that when I go out in the world this time, like, it's like the spirit has come from a dead corpse. So it's a mature soul who leaves a dead body and then comes into the womb of a mother, which is dark and hot and burning. And so it's like a living hell, actually, in the womb. In Kali Yuga, the womb is like hell. This is written in Gurbani, And so the soul promises Akal Purakh, God, that I won't forget you. Let me come out of this. I want to come out. And I promise I'm not going to forget you. What happens when we come out in the womb, from the womb of mother into the world, is, can you imagine this little baby being born? It knows it's a soul. It knows it's connected to Akal Purakh, and it knows that it's come out from some dark hole, and suddenly it's in the arms of a loving mother. That soul cannot speak, cannot even see properly, cannot hear properly, cannot do anything. So that soul is like, you can say, a paralyzed, completely incapable being, but it is wise. And so and at that point, because of the constrictions of a human body and the requirements of that human body of an infant to drink milk and to be with to grow, to sleep, to finding any discomfort, so it cries when it's uncomfortable, and all these things, just so that it can progress. And it's because it's stuck in a human body and it doesn't know how to speak. So it goes through all that. So the mother sustains it. And then as it grows, it's so involved in drinking, sleeping, being comfortable. And, can you imagine you want to do this and you want to do that, but you can't. You're just like in a body that can't do anything. So it takes time. And that time, by the time the baby can start actually doing something, 3 months, 2 months, or whatever, it's already so used to, and everybody's talking to it. Your name is this, like for me, you're Amarjit. My nickname is Kiran. My mother will say, you're Kiran. And she'll say, you're a female, you're to kudi hai, to school jana, you're going to go to school, and you have to speak Punjabi, and Vaheguru bolna hai. All these things are taught to us.
right.
And I'm going to come to the cycle of time because I'm sharing with you this lifetime of mine. Okay. So each one of us can relate to this particular lifetime first. Okay. So when we come, and then we get psyched by the world around us, the environment. So we switch from nature to nurture. So we are being nurtured, and we're being imprinted upon by the world with all these labels. you're a Sikh, you're a female, you're in Thailand, you have, this one is your brother, your sister, this one is your mother, your father, and it's time to go to sleep, it's time to get up. And by the time you can talk, some children remember past lives up to maybe 5 to 7 years. After 7 years, it's very rare that you remember. And whenever they remember, parents don't know what's going on. So they think, oh, you had a bad dream.
Yeah.
It's just something you made up. Children make up stories. We don't really listen.
I had that experience actually.
Yeah, you do?
Yeah. I had that experience from in childhood, because my father used to get posted to different armed forces areas. So in one of the areas, I think Wellington, I believe. So we used to have parallel rooms, parents in one room, we here, and there was a common door, and they could see me. They could see me, like part of my body, my head, they could see me, and I could see their part of the body. So lying down at night time, I used to feel as if somebody is like trying to, choke my throat, and somebody is trying to pull my sheets away. And I'm trying to speak out, but I'm not able to speak out. So those kind of experiences used to happen. And, I'm trying to shout, but I'm not able to shout also. And I used to come and share with my parents, and they used to don't understand it exactly what's happening, because it's not their fault also. So
because everybody doesn't know everything. And
exactly.
Until you don't, suddenly destiny wakes you up. If you ask me, my turning spiritual, was it something I thought I would turn? Never. I was just a normal mother bringing up children, going to work and earning and enjoying and sleeping. But suddenly you have this thought, oh, what is life? Anyway, I know my mother shared with me an experience that my sister, and one of my sisters as a child, used to just randomly walk away from the house and go to the riverside in Thailand, in Bangkok, and sit by the river and call out, Meta, Meta in Thai, which means, oh my dear mother, oh my dear mother. As if that soul was remembering a previous life. And it happened a few times, not once, maybe twice or thrice. So mom, and a child, a little girl, 2, 3 years old, doesn't know the way. But she always went and sat near the river, and she would speak these things. And somehow, this my mother told us later. And I used to say, oh, must have been some past life of her. My mother said, yeah, because when it happens once, twice, thrice, and physically when she's awake, she's saying it, then people remember. But if you dream, then people think, it's just a dream. It could be a past life imprint. But okay, let's not talk about that. It's not important. The point is, this lifetime, we are in this body, and we have been influenced by everybody, and whichever religion I'm in. So if I was born to a Christian mother, I would be told this, you are Mary, and you have to go to church, and you have to speak English, and you have to eat this, and you can't eat that. If I'm Muslim, I'll be told don't eat pork. And I think that's me. Oh, I'm like this. I don't like pork. Oh, I don't like this color. Or, oh, I'm going to cover my head. Or, oh, I have to take off shoes if I go to a sacred place. It's not me. It's the way I have been brought up. And I have been, so everything that I know, everything that I am or think I am, has been taught to me or told to me by my school, by my environment, by my parents, by my surroundings, by everything around me. So the whole thing has become the truth, and who I am disappeared. So this is now, yeah. So,
You mean to say that the role has been imprinted onto the person, that the soul who's a child is being told that this is your role?
Yes, in the
as
world.
compared to being imprinted by that, see, you are a soul, this is your role, but don't become too connected to your role. Instead of that being taught, it's more of, this is your role, this is who you are, this is what you're going to play your act as in this birth. And that is like levels and levels and levels and layers of consciousness.
You see, when we have children, we are not spiritually awakened. And if we are spiritually awakened, we won't have children. So there's no one. But again, this is now I'm going to talk about the cycle of time and how it connects with all this. I love Gurbani, and then in the cycle of time, you'll see the space of Gurbani as well. And that's why today I chose to sit here, okay? Because I have this beautiful, sorry, I'll go this side.
Yeah, please.
I have this beautiful picture in my room. And
Lovely.
this shows, okay, if you look, okay, it's opposite. If you see that is soul world and that's a Kalpuruk point, actually we and a Kalpuruk are, as an individual twinkling point of light, there's no size difference in the identity of the spirit. But just for the sake of clarity that he's more powerful or he hasn't forgotten and we have forgotten. So we are shown tiny, tiny, and he's shown big. Now this is this side here, that small ball, there's it. Okay. And if you can see, the sun is out there and the moon and all the planets are within the realm, this navy blue or black realm, which is our universe. Okay. All the planets, everything. And there's a white realm, which is the subtle region, is you can call it the realm of angels, if you say, or the realm, we won't address that issue now, but there are three worlds. So soul world, the realm of angels, and this world, which we call our universe, Earth. Now, this big thing that looks like a clock, this is the cycle of, this is the time on Earth. Okay. Our Earth, see, if as a spirit, if I'm just a spirit, I don't age. The human face and the human body age. And that's why when you grow old, you notice that suddenly you'll be like, oh, I want to jump and I want to do this and I want to do that. And like, my body can't do it because the soul is young. The soul thinks it can do everything. And slowly you realize, oh, my body can't cope up with that. So many times in your mind, you are like 16 and you can still remember yourself as 16 or 14 or 15 or even 20, whatever. I seem to keep remembering myself as 16 or 15. That seems to be the peak. And so you have almost every human being has this youth in them. Yes. Because the soul is youthful, because the soul actually doesn't age, but because the body is aging, and then we get tired because the body has its karmic accounts and the sickness and the illness that comes with the aging body and the environment of pollution around us. So we start having all these energy depletion, fatigue, and all these sort of diseases coming on. So let's look at the cycle of time, because then we understand that as a spirit, when we come to play a role on Earth, every spirit goes through a cycle. So in your first birth, this is showing the 4 eras on Earth: Golden Age, Silver Age, Copper Age, and Iron Age. Or you can see Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, and Kalyug. Okay. Right. Now, we don't need to know the exact details, but the fact is that every soul goes through these 4 stages as well. So if you are a soul when you come down, see, in Paramdham, when we live there, we are one with God, with a Kalpuruk. And that's why Ek Onkar means there's only one entity, one being, one spirit that never plays a role on Earth, that doesn't come in the womb of a mother. So it doesn't ever come into karmic accounts and never forgets himself and remains aloof and watches the play. All this is written in Gurbani. So, and I'll come to why Gurbani is so accurate. It's simply because it's one of the latest. It's only 550 years old. Right. Guru Nanak. And if you talk about from the scriptures, it's only 300 over years old. So it's really very new. Now, when we look at the cycle of time, we understand that as a spirit, when we come to play our role on Earth, of course, we are, as spirits in Paramdham, in Nirvana, in soul world, we're equal to God, all of us. We're pure 100%. It's stillness and nothingness, no talking, no moving. It's called no talking, no moving. You're just still and silent and peaceful. So that's why we say Om Shanti. We are all Om. We're all spirits. So spirit is Om and peaceful Shanti. So when we say Om Shanti now, it's to remind us of that realm of our true home. Okay. And that's why I like to wear this pendant, because it's Om Shanti, my true home. Now, when we come in the womb of a mother to play a role, the first role is always beautiful, because you've just come fresh from Paramdham. It's like the battery is full. So you are loving and happy and content. You have all the beautiful virtues. But as you play your role each lifetime, I could be a Christian in one lifetime. I could be whatever, any lifetimes I play. I'll be changing role. I might be in America, in Africa, in Australia, anywhere in the world, any religion. Male, female, I switch with every birth as well. So now when I start playing roles, the soul depletes. It's like when you use your telephone, the soul is energy, right? So
Right.
energy, when it's used, depletes. So just like your phone, when you're using it, it depletes. So you need to charge it. So when we're in Param Dham, we're charging. But when we come to play a role on earth, battery depletes. So, but we're still powerful enough because we are in same identity as a Kalpuruk. So he's Ekonkar. Satnam means true name, means we are beyond our physical names. Like this body is Amarjit, but as a spirit, I'm Om. I'm only Amarjit in this lifetime. And you're only Parampreet in this lifetime. It doesn't mean other lifetime we had other names. So we take on the names. Every human soul takes on the name of the human being in which they are. So the soul doesn't need to have a name. So the soul is just home. And we are called and known by the body that we come in and take whatever life that is. But a Kalpuruk, God Almighty, he never has a body. So that's why he says, I'm Shiv. Shiv means the seed. The seed means the one that is beyond change, the foundation, the one that is forever, the one that is he doesn't have a body, so he doesn't have other names. Yeah, but we as human beings have given him a million names. Because as a Christian, we'll say Godfather, or and as a Buddhist, we'll say, or Allah, Waheguru, Jehovah, God, all these names we've given, because we go according to our culture, according to our language, all that. So because we come into the realm, we have a language, everybody speaks a different language. So we all have differences, cultures, religions, identities, and upbringing. Everybody's so different. So what happens? The soul depletes each birth because of karmic accounts. And if you look, golden age and silver age is the realm of deities. In that era, because we were so beautiful, we were like deities. So that's the realm of Lakshmi Narayan and Ram and Sita and all these gods and goddesses that we talk about, even in Greek mythology, even in Indian mythology, we address. So that was a realm on earth, heaven on earth. It's on earth. Everything is time on earth. Because in soul world, we need nothing. So now when we play our role on earth, Adam and Eve eat the apple is the story. So what happens is we fall. We fall and the divine sends messengers. So messengers come, and Abraham is the first messenger, and then Buddha, and then Jesus, and then Muhammad, and then around 500 years ago, Guru Nanak comes around there. Okay, there should be actually an emblem of Ekonkar or Khanda Ode to show the Sikh religion. Now, these are the five main. If you look, Hinduism is not there because the deities is the old what does it say? Puratan
Dharma. Adi Sanatan
Devi Devta Dharma.
But is it mentioned in the Guru Granth Sahib about deities?
In the Guru Granth Sahib, yes, it is mentioned also. Because you know what it says? It says that even the deities crave the human being. But why it says that? It says that even the deities crave a union with God. So that means it's saying that because is Dehe ko Simro Dev, but something like that. It means that the Devi Devtas also want a human being body that is in connection with God. Now, why does it say that? Because you have to understand that the Sikh Guru comes here. So he's a fresh soul. So he's like a deity. Because when your first lifetime, you are a deity. Even though you didn't come into golden age, you are very pure. So you remember. And then when you tell other people and about a Kalpuruk, then you're like, you are so blessed. So to say you're so blessed, when you connect with God, only then you're blessed. If you're not connecting with God, you're not blessed. So it's saying that I am so blessed. I'm like the deity. I'm so blessed that And you all, even human beings who have fallen, are so blessed if you connect to God. You
Right.
understand? If you ask, would the scriptures know, or they don't address much about the day-to-day, because their role is just at the end. Okay? Nobody knows, nobody remembers this era. Nobody can remember. But yeah, because the cycle of time carries on and on and on and repeats every cycle of time, some imprint of a past lifetime could be there. Because what's going to happen at the end? The worst era, the Iron Age is the worst era. All these religious leaders came to sustain the earth and make us better. But we didn't improve. They came and they left. And we created a religion in their name, and we fought in their name, and we created havoc on earth in their name. They were all such peaceful beings.
Right.
So they all left and went. And the world still deteriorated. Including Guru Nanak came and went, and the world is still deteriorating.
Exactly.
And all the people that want to be like Guru Nanak can't. So there is a divine interception between the worst to become the best. So this is so huge, this divine, and the whole world, every single soul on earth, and souls come to play a role. The world drama stage increases, the population increases, it can never decrease. So when all souls are on earth, every single soul will have it in its imprint somewhere, like in the memory, deep subconscious, unconscious memory, that something wow is going to happen to change the world from Iron Age to Golden Age. See, Iron Age to Golden Age. Something wow is going to happen for this transition. And that every single soul will know. And because that soul might, after seeing the split, and go back and live upstairs. Upstairs means go live in Paramdham. But and may not play a role in Golden Age and Silver Age, and just come and play a role in Copper Age or in Iron Age, but still that soul would have seen the divine interception. And that's why every soul connects to God. Because every soul comes from Nirvana and knows, leaves him and comes, and is taught to connect to him in order to go back. Because he's the only liberator.
Okay.
In Gurbani, we use the word Satguru. Satguru is a very accurate word, because there are three titles for God. One is Father. In Christianity, we use a lot of that. One is Guru. In Buddhism, in Islam, we use a lot of that. Guru means you listen to the one that preaches. And what happens is, because we listen to the people that teach, it's actually his teachings. But because we are listening to the mouth of such elevated beings, we think it's them. The world thinks they are God, but actually they are not. They are just messengers. And they say it, but nobody chooses to hear. Like Buddha said, don't create my statues and my images. And the most statues and images in the world are of Buddha. And likewise, Guru Nanak said, I am not. Don't put my picture. And that's why in the Gurdwara, you will not see a photo of Guru Nanak. But in every Sikh home, you'll see it. It's crazy, because this is something Guru Nanak didn't want. Because he said, we are beyond the body. You have to go beyond the body. You have to remember that Ek Onkar. And if you don't remember that Ek Onkar, then you can't be pure. And so the role of the Guru is to teach. But we made the Guru. So the role of God is also of a Guru to teach through these messages. And the Satguru. The Satguru role is the third, is the liberator. There's no way a soul knows how to go back home. You don't know the way. The only one that can take us back home is the Sat. And that's God's role. And every religion talks about that, whether they say God will take you or come in. So we all know that we're all playing a role, and we die and we get reborn and we die, but we can't go back to soul world. We can't.
So we also hear one more thing, like Manushyate Devta ki ek kiratna lagivar, and we also hear the word Khalsa. Can you like in spiritual terms, what does it exactly mean? Because you have been into, you're a religious person, and with you're presenting Gurbani actually today. So can you throw some light on that?
It's very beautiful. The word Khalsa is so misunderstood. When we say Khalsa and we make it like strong and violent, and no, Khalsa just means pure. The word Khalsa means pure. So Khalas, beyond. It's the same word as in they say in Islam. What do they say? The word Islam also means pure.
Pak Saf.
Pak. So now when you say pure, well, like when you say Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, we are saying, I am the Khalsa of Vaheguru. Means I am the pure one of God. Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. And God, you will be victorious. So when we say Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh, means if I am pure, you as my father will be victorious, and my life on earth will be victorious.
So I'm a representative of God, actually.
Exactly. And I want his victory. And in his victory is my purity and my victory. Purity, what does purity mean? Purity is, you can just feel it. Purity is definitely non-violence, definitely. So it's peace. It's happiness, Ananda Piya Meri Mai Satguru Mein Pai. It's happiness, it's joy, it's contentment, it's definitely non-violence. Nothing about the word Khalsa or purity will give you the feeling. It's about truth, about oneness, about unity, about harmony, about oneness. So that's what is pure. Anything that divides can't be pure. Anything that you say is truth and is causing blocks and walls cannot be pure, no? So it's very children are pure. When you see children and you carry a baby, and why is it so pure? Because it's beyond name, beyond identity, beyond the ability to use the five senses properly. So it's a little infant born is closest to soul consciousness and purity. So that's why it's so pure, because it hasn't been enveloped or hasn't been imprinted with body consciousness as yet.
So can we say innocent?
Or using the five senses, because as a baby you can't use your hand or ears, so you're still in your own la la land, pure. Yeah, you were going to say?
So I was saying we can use the word innocent for the child, for the soul. It's an innocent like a saint, and has no impurity, no ego clashes, no differentiation. It will smile even if somebody of some other religion is looking at you, because it's looking at the soul within.
Yeah. And that's why we call Shiv Bholana. The word Bhola is innocent. Innocent is pure. If you're too smart, that's not pure. In fact, if you're too knowledgeable and you don't have innocence, that's not pure.
Not pure.
If you're knowledgeable and innocent. See, we saw Dadi Gulzar in the Brahma Kumaris. We had Dadi Gulzar, and whenever I looked at her,
innocent.
She allowed everybody. She was such a powerful, highly elevated soul, one of the most elevated in the world. And she behaved like a child. She allowed anybody to tell her what to do, how to do. I loved looking at her. And I was amazed how simple and pure and innocent she was.
Exactly. And actually the world is supposed to be for the innocent. It's actually made for the innocent, and through that innocence, I believe that people find the easiest and the fastest and the shortest way to achieve anything in life. And when we use a lot of opposite of innocence, too much of intellect, we complicate things, and our ego comes in and we actually push things around, and that's where the innocence is lost and things become more difficult. What do you have to say about this?
Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th Guru, says, Jin prem kiyo tin hi prabh paayo. So if you have love in your heart, only then you will be able to know God, or be close to him again, or reunite with his identity and understand your own identity. If you don't have love and you don't have a pure heart, it's very, very difficult that you will be joyful and happy and peaceful. So it's very, very important to be pure. And that what I was saying is why Gurbani is highly appreciated by every religion and everybody in the world is because it's coming from the same source, and it's just leading on, and it's the latest. It's only 350 years old, so it's the latest. So it's same story and same message from the divine that each one of these gave, but everybody, because these are so old humanity. I mean, you and me talking today, if a third person hears, that third person will not be able to represent you or me. They will write what their mind heard with their own thinking. Can you imagine what these souls spoke and how many human beings have interpreted what they've spoken? Do you think there's any truth left in that? Because our minds are interpreting it in its own way and repeating it in its own way. And that's where we cause conflicts and confusions in communication all the time. Oh, but I meant like this. Oh, but you meant like that. Oh, but I understood like this, but I didn't say it like that. Because we have a mind that even two people talking, we can misunderstand. So where is the truth of the messengers, the leaders? And they were such elevated beings that our intellect is not capable of receiving that in that light. And at least in Guru in the Sikh scriptures, it's still written in its original form,
Right.
in original words, and it was written by the masters themselves, not by other human beings, which in other religions it was written by other human beings. Yet, despite being written by Guru Nanak himself, or the first, second, third, fourth, fifth master, or the ninth master, it still is misinterpreted because our mind and our intellect is not up to their level to be able to understand what they wrote.
You mean to say pure enough? Is not pure enough?
No, for example, a kindergarten child cannot understand the depths of a grade 10 or a master's or a PhD student. No way, because intellect is different. And of course, the impurity is definitely part of that as well. But even if you just talk of intellect, of hearing and listening and learning, you are clouded. So you're not pure and you don't have the capacity, you haven't reached that tapasya or that state of being to be able to understand there. So we, even today, we interpret everything and hear everything with our own filters.
Right.
Filters. So even today I'm talking to you, you will be hearing with your own filter. And other people out there who are hearing this session will be hearing it through their own filters.
Filter. Exactly.
So how is that the truth? When your filter comes in, we move away from the truth, right?
Exactly.
That's what's causing disharmony in the world. That's what's causing peacelessness. So if you just stick to Khalsa, means the purity and the truth and joy and love, and you know these core values, and if at any time, any moment in your life you feel that you've deviated from this or diverted from these, from being happy or giving happiness, from love or being loving, or from peace or being from being peace, creating a peaceful environment, you have failed in your spiritual journey. I fail very often, okay? Knowing does not mean that you can practice it, but at least what is, at least you have set out on the journey. They call it a sadh. In Gurbani, it talks a lot about sadh. Sadh is one who has decided that I'm on a journey of truth and I want to reunite with Akaur. Gobind Milan ki e teri bariya. This is the time that I've got this human birth, and this is the time to connect with you. Pai prapat, manuk devarya, Gobind Milan ki e teri bariya. So when that sadh is on the journey, at least what you can do is, because you want, you know you have to be peaceful. So if you have been peaceless or caused peacelessness, afterwards it'll come to you because it's your goal, it's your aim, and you're constantly practicing and rechecking. You will talk, you will have a communication with God and say, I failed. And next time I'll be more careful, and you apologize and you send vibration to the souls that you cause peacelessness with. At least you're doing something. But those who have not awakened or have not set out that I'm choosing to be on the path of a sadh, of the truth, then how will they awaken? How will they, then they can't even realize their own mistakes, right? Then they will keep making people unhappy, keep making people peaceless, keep on making people, and that's peacelessness in the world and disharmony in the world, is because we all have yet to awaken. And even the awakened ones have to work at being even more peaceful than others, and more detached, and more. It's not easy. I live in a Gristi, and I know that it's, you're so attached to your family. You're so attached to your friends and your grandchildren, your children. Okay, your children, once they get married, you can detach. But your grandchildren, they're adorable. And you're so sweet. And then you just, it's just another attachment. Dadi, being a dadi or a nani is amazing. I mean, it gives a lot of joy. But we have to be constantly aware I'm a soul, and that soul is on their spiritual journey, and I'm on my spiritual journey, and I don't have to wait. So doing these sessions or meeting like-minded people and hearing about the truth ongoing, and sticking to my daily practice of meditating in the morning, meditating at night, and before I eat, whenever I have time to serve, then it keeps me on my track of being a sadhu, to become a Brahmgyani.
Right. And while reading the Guru Granth Sahib, I had come across one of the banis, and it was saying that you are my husband and I want to be with you, and please dress me, please garnish me, please dress me, please beautify me. So it's mentioned over there as a husband also.
Tu mera pita, tu mera mata, tu mera bandha, tu mera brata. You are my everything. You are my mother, my father. Tu mera sajanara. And yes, you are my sajanara. Sajanara, mera sajanara. Nikata kalera, mera sajan. I love that, because you are my sajanara, means my best friend, my lover, my beloved. And you have to, because there's such a loving relationship with God. And most of us have parents who are beautiful, or siblings. So the brother-sister or a relationship, or the father-mother relationship is still okay. But beloved, when we seek and then we fail in love, or we don't find a good partner or a good spouse, then we turn to God. And then it's, and when you say that the sergeant has to beautify you, it's also written that there's one that says "E tre pene." Even the virtues are the ornaments. The virtues are the ornaments that he decorates you with.
Right.
One is sweet speech, and one is being kind and merciful. Khima, forgiveness. These are the qualities and virtues that he adorns you with. Then you become a beautiful bride. And when he adorns you with these qualities, then you use these qualities in your interactions with other human beings, because with him, he's fine with however you are. And in fact, with him, you don't have a problem, because he's never caused any problem to you. So you use these sweet speech and forgiveness and these virtues, these ornaments, you use it to live your relationship with everyone on earth, and your own spouse, your own children, your own family, and the people that are the most troublesome in your life, or the challenges in your life, mostly are your own family. And that's why in the Mahabharata war, the Pandavas, or Arjun faces his own relatives on the field of battle.
Right.
It's we are going to face the greatest challenges with our own family. Even if you have given up your life and you're living in Mount Abu, and you will have created a new family. And so those people around you will be your challenges even then.
Exactly.
The business challenges of someone stealing your money, and those don't really affect your heart. They may affect your mind and cause you stress, as in you lose money and you feel sad and sad. But the disturbance is more in your relationships, because you're losing money is not so drastic as that the fact that you're not going to be able to look after your children, or you're not going to be able to support your family. So it all comes back to your attachments is always your own family. So we have karmic bondages with people who are closest to us. And we need to cut those bondages by connecting with the divine, connecting with God. And the only way, yog or bhog, you have two choices, just two choices. Yog, connect and delete karmic accounts, or bhog, go through it.
Mm. By bhog, you mean go through any kind of physical, mental, emotional, financial, and many other ways.
Physical ailment, yes, all bhog.
So, what is how is yoga mentioned in Gurbani? How do we connect to yoga as a word, not just as a word, but like we use ardas, as I've heard, ardas and prayers. And is there a mention of yoga or connection, or is only an external expression through bhajans and through different mediums? What exactly is it?
Actually, kirtan or bhajan is sung to, because sound, music and sound has high elevation frequency. So when you sing, and firstly, the words are very pure, the words have a message in them. But what we do is, because the music and the sound frequency is so beautiful of musical instruments, especially when sung by people who are talented and have those qualities of rag and sur and the awaz,
Right.
then it just pleases the ear. And it elevates your being, sure, because music has that ability. But Gurbani talks about, don't make it kanras, don't make it as a pleasing to the ears, because you are not the ears. You have to, the point is, even if you don't sing it, it doesn't matter. The point is to live it. If you are saying Anand Peha Meri Mai Satguru Me Paya, and you're not feeling Anand, what's the point? If
Right.
you're just singing it and you're not feeling, or if you're feeling Anand in that moment, and the moment the song is over and you're like, oh my God, there's that, and you lost the Anand, then that temporary moment of Anand when you sang it didn't last. So it's about, that's why Gurbani says, Swas Pasimro Gobind. You have to remember Akal Purukh with every breath. So
Right.
the practice is, the Gobind, the Milan is Rajyoga. Rajyoga and Gobind Milan have the same meaning. Yog means Milan, connection. There's a union involved. And the union is what? Through thought. And the best way to connect your thought is you visualize. You visualize. Because then when you create a vision, then your mind stays with the vision. It doesn't go here and there. So the best way to keep the mind on track is concentration. Concentration means you have to have a point, and the
Right.
vision of a point is the best way to concentrate. So this picture above you is the best way to look at and fill your vision with that I am that and he is that. So it's like Jyoti Jyotirali. So it's you and me together. It's only one point.
So,
So
so
point is
does
union.
it mean that, sorry, I'm interrupting you. Just does it mean that I have to just keep on looking at the jot, or as since we're bringing spirituality and Gurbani together, and Gurbani is mentioned that you have to simmer sukh pao. So does it mean that I have to keep on saying Vaheguru, 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 and what does it exactly teach?
This is where a lot of us, we like to chant. Chanting is good as ABC. You tell me, when you go to school, kindergarten, they teach you A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. If you keep on singing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you don't know what it is, will you ever be able to form CAT, cat, and then sentences, and then a whole essay, and be able to read? No. So we can say, Vaheguru, 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 that's singing your ABC. The word wow, Vaheguru is not a word, it's an expression of wow. Vaheguru. Wow to you. So you can only wow if you know him.
Right.
If you don't know him, then your wow is just an ABC. So it's okay to start with chanting, because it puts your mind, and we talk so much or we hear so much. So by saying Vaheguru, Vaheguru, it at least, but you know what? Sometimes we're saying Vaheguru, or we're saying our Mool Mantra, Ek Onkar Satnam Karta, but our mind is going here, there. And there's stories that say that Kode Ginde Pe. You see, Gurdwara, which bethe, you're sitting in the Gurdwara, but your mind is counting horses. So means it's where your mind is that will make you lose your status. So the point of Gurbani, simmer. Simmer does not mean chant. Simran means remember. So
Remember.
how do you remember? When you're remembering your mother, are you saying mother, 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 mother? No. You're
No.
just remembering in your mind, in a thought. You create a vision of her, and you remember her, you think of her, and you feel her love. That's Simran. So 3 things are involved in Simran, in yoga, in meditation: thought, vision, and feeling. When these 3 are in, then you are doing Simran, or you're doing union, or you're doing Rajyoga. Even Rajyoga. What is Rajyoga? If you're just sitting and your mind is going all over the place, you're not doing Rajyoga. Rajyoga is when you are in union, when your thought and your vision and your feeling to add that, and then you have that complete experience. That's called Simran. So then in that experience, if you say, wow, and somebody's listening to you and you come, like Guru Gobind Singh, he was in that experience of tu hi, so he just said, tu hi, tu hi, tu hi, tu hi, tu hi, tu hi. He went on tu hi, for 3 days and 3 nights. Now he didn't have to say why Guru, because he was saying only you, only you, only you. In my mind, there's only you. And Guru Nanak, there's a story that goes, he was selling something and he had to give, and when he reached the word Tera, 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 Tera. He didn't go beyond Tera because everything is you, there's nothing beyond you. So he didn't go with 14, 15, 16. He just went 11, 12, Tera. He got diverted in that. You, it's you. How did I forget you when I counted 1 to 11, 12? And the moment I heard the number 13, it's there. I thought of you, and now I forgot. You know, it's like I'm going to be with you. So these are words that connect you to Akal, to give you an experience. So when you say Vaheguru and you're feeling sad, then it's a call. So it's also a call, because we have also used the word Vaheguru to express God. So it's like God, 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 like that. Or Father, 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 like that. You know, wherever you are, Shiv, 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 like Ram, 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 like that. Same. Vaheguru is like Ram, 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 Ram. But while you're doing in the beginning, you might have had the thirst of the call, but at some point you might have diverted from the thirst and the call and gone into, your mind started going here and there and changed already. Because mind is without concentration, without visualization. And you can't visualize if you don't know, if you haven't been introduced. So when you, like the point behind you is the perfect introduction of yourself and of God. So when we see that point and we create the vision that, and it's a point, because concentration means from expansion into, you concentrate it into a narrow, a tiny, and that's the heights of concentration. So this point that I am is also a point. So you, from expansion, you go into inner with no expansion. So then you stay there and you stay there, but you can't stay there if there's no knowledge or no communion. So union is a feeling comes in. Then when you talk, you have an inner dialogue, whether it's a wow or a thank you, shukar, 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 or mera baba, or pyara baba, meetha baba, shukriya baba, whatever you want, or Baba, today this happened, or today I did this wrong, forgive me, or today I remembered you when I was drinking water, today, thank you so much for making me remember you, or give me a good night's sleep, or Baba, there are people in the hospital that are really sick, I want you to send your love and light to those souls. Then you're doing that service. So it's a communion and a service that there's so much to do when you're in his dargah. Pher ki agge rakhiye jisse darbar. And Gurbani talks about what should I give you so that I can come into your presence. So there's a darbar that we want to enter. So when we understand soul world, then we understand his darbar. Then we can come into his dargah. Darbar. I want to come into your darbar, O King of Kings, you know. And what should I speak with my mouth so that you can love me and I can love you? So I want to be like you. I want to be mithat nevi nanka gunchungyayata. The qualities that I need to adorn is sweetness, humility. Mithat is sweet. Nevi is humility. So sweetness and humility go hand in hand, egolessness. So all that Gurbani teaches you such beautiful qualities that we don't follow at all. We just chant and we just recite and and that's where I reached a point where I'm like, jiske sir upar tu Swami, so dukh kaisa paave. And I was like, but I feel sad. How come? I'm with you. I'm trying to connect to you, and whoever you are, your God, you're out there, and I'm trying to reach you and be with you. But I'm sad. I'm sad. Why? That means I'm not connecting, because if I'm connecting with you, I'm in union with you, I'm in your darbar. How can I be sad?
Yeah.
Sad. So you just have to check. If you're happy, that means you're in his darbar. If you're not, then you're faking it.
Right.
You have to experiment with different ways. So I experimented when I understood, when I came into the Brahma Kumaris and I heard the chapter 1 of Who Am I and chapter 2 is Who is God. Nobody told me I'm a soul. I heard I'm a soul, but I didn't understand that I'm this energy point. I didn't even think that it was me, this energy point that makes these eyes see, and I'm the experiencer. I'm the one inside that comes in the mother's stomach. I didn't think all these things, because we only think what we've been taught to think. Strangely, we are puppets, in this world. So we just follow the crowd and the flock, and we just go with the flow. It's very rare that someone steps out of the box. It wasn't easy for me to step out of the box and go into an authentic union. But when I felt and I had an experience and I had this gyan, I couldn't leave it, no matter what anybody judges, because this is what Guru Nanak is talking about. This is what the entire Guru Granth Sahib is saying, and here I'm getting it in a platter. So I'm understanding Gurbani even better than I ever did. So, and the beautiful of beauty things is because I started understanding Gurbani that I used to recite and that I had studied for so long, I was able to relate it. The Brahma Kumaris, which is a university, asked me and interviewed me and did sessions for me to explain Gurbani to them. So I got chosen and picked up to do the translation of the Japji Sahib. 77 episodes of Japji Sahib, which the Brahma Kumaris Peace Music Studio did. And I was given that honor because, why? Maybe because I was authentic, maybe because my search was true, maybe because I related it to the universal message of everyone. I understood the cycle of time, the wheel of time is very important to understand. That I am today a Sikh woman. But 550 years ago, there was no Sikhism. So I would have been in another religion, so I would probably have been a Muslim or a Christian. And then as you go way back, 2,500 years ago, there was no religion, but the soul is Amar. It's, what do you call it? Akal. Akal means beyond time, beyond space. So I exist. So I'm beyond boundaries of religion. I'm beyond boundaries of language. I'm Pakya Pao Apar is in the fourth stanza of Japji Sahib. Japji Sahib alone has everything in it. The fourth stanza already makes it clear that we are beyond the barrier of language, and the true language is the language of love. So, yes, we have to teach our children Punjabi because it's culture, it's nature, and in order to read the Gurbani, teach them, they have to study something, teach Punjabi. But the main thing we need to teach is you're a soul and you connect with God. And as a dadi, I can do that. As a mother, I didn't know how to. I was just busy looking after, cooking and dressing them up, sending them off to school and attending PDA meetings and extracurricular activities and all these, and food and stuff, and parties and birthdays and this and that. But now that I've resigned from all that, I have given this path. I have understood that my journey is the journey of the soul. And I just feel that one day I'm going to create this movie, The Journey of the Soul. In a comical way, in a very funny and entertaining manner. And I think it's going to manifest. I've been saying this to Ramesh Pai since the first or second year I came into Gyan. And he connected me with Godlywood Studio, senior Ramesh Pai. Because he saw my my truth, and he saw my interest, and he saw how I wanted the world to understand Baba and understand divine interception that comes between Kalyug and Satyug. How can the worst become the best? Cycle of time is very important. How can the worst become the best when such elevated souls as Abraham, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, Guru Nanak couldn't change the world? So who's going to be able to change the world?
Right.
Or
And is there any mention of like in the Bhagavad Gita, it's mentioned yada yadahi, that you come down. Is there any kind of mention in Gurbani about God having to come and change human beings into divine beings or change the world?
There's definitely that you have to connect to a God, but yes, it didn't put it in that way. It says it as that only he can know himself, so only he can explain about himself. No one else can. Okay. So my statement already shows that he has to come and explain about himself, right? Because no one else can explain. So, and it also says that his explanation is limitless, that no matter you get all the trees to be the pen and all the water in the ocean to be the ink, you can't write enough about him. He's beyond expression. And so it doesn't mean you don't try, you keep praising and praising, but and it also says that your praising him doesn't make him greater or make you greater. No, your praising him doesn't make him greater or doesn't make you greater. Your being the praise that you praise him will make you better. So these things are already explained, and it's already very clear that only in union with him will you be liberated, and only he can give you happiness. Recently there was one Murli that said the 3 roles of God, and one was happiness, and one was giving knowledge, and one was liberator, take you back home. And Gurbani stresses a lot on happiness, because jiske se upar tu Swami so dukh kaisa paawe. Nanak, the world is sad, and only a Akal Purukh can make you happy. So all these points are telling that only God can make you happy. It's very clear from Gurbani that God can make you happy. It's very clear from Gurbani that his role is to give you knowledge, because only he can tell. No one else can tell, because everybody comes into cycle of birth and death and has karmic accounts. And third, he's the only Satguru, the only one that will take us back where we came from. So in that way it is mentioned, but it isn't, because you have to understand that Guru Nanak comes at the end of Kali Yuga. So Guru Nanak is not a soul that lived is a new soul coming from Param Dham in Kali Yuga. So he's the light of Kali Yuga. So this soul didn't live in Copper Age, Silver Age and Golden Age. So he doesn't talk about that. But because at the end something wow happens, he knows that there is going to be, and because God's knowledge is received by everyone, so God's knowledge explains that you can have heaven on earth, and talks about deities. So there's a lot of talk about deities, because Guru Nanak himself was from the Hindu religion, so he related to the Hindu scriptures, but he didn't he went anti the blind faith of wearing janeo or of throwing water to the sun and that sort of thing. He didn't go into these rituals and idol worship, because he's saying that's mitti, that's not God. I mean, you've chosen to put your faith in a stone statue, but the stone statue is not God. You need to respect human beings and living souls, not just stone statues. And even this pouring milk on stone statues, he went against these rituals. So he was a rebel. He was revolutionary. Normal. He would question his teachers, and his father gave him 20 rupees and said to go do business, and he gave it to the poor, and he said, that's the best business you can do, because I'm creating my account with the Akal Purukh. I'm not doing business with normal people. I want business with my God. So he was doing the true Sacha Sauda, they call it. He was he believed in Sacha Sauda. He was an amazing, all these spiritual leaders were amazing human beings. And that's why we put them up and idolize them. And we would like to be like them. But what happens is we just chant their names, but we do nothing in our lives to be like Guru Nanak, sadly. If we look at Guru Nanak, did he have a bank account? How come we want to increase a bank account? What did he wear? Was he interested in having huge wardrobe or jewelry or the latest fashion or anything like that? And look at us. So we are not living. Did he go out and try to earn and earn and earn? But what was he doing? He was just connecting and getting people to connect to God. And he was a simple, truthful being who didn't have a care in the world because he knew, just like the birds and animals, that there's a higher hand taking care. He was convinced, and it was his truth that there is a higher hand. It's not our truth. We can say that God takes care, but the way we live our lives, it shows that we don't believe it. If
We
we
live in
believe,
doubt. We live in doubt, and what will happen tomorrow, and will I be able to survive? Will my family survive? Will my kids survive? Will they get the next meal? And I think it's mentioned that even the ant or even the animals don't have to worry about getting their meals. And
you
why
see,
do we?
that way, Brahma, in this Kali era, after Guru Nanak, I'd say, Brahma Baba is a role model. And that's why there's, in all scriptures, they talk of Brahma as the creator. So Brahma as a creator, and in Thailand is the land of Brahma.
Right.
There are Brahma statues all over Thailand. Why? We have to think and ponder. And Brahma statues in Thailand have not just been now, it's been ancient. It means that this civilization here has an inkling, has a remembrance of the role of Brahma from the last cycle of time. So because this cycle goes on. So the last cycle of time, whatever happened, Thais have understand that Brahma is a creator, and Brahma is a human being and an old man, and there's no father or mother of Brahma. So it's so Brahma Baba is that Brahma, the host of God. So that when we understand that Brahma and the role of Brahma in Kali, then you see how he lived. He was a rich diamond dealer who had millions, and he was traveling in those days to the Queen of England and rich people all over the royalty in England, and he gave up everything. He did the Sacha Sauda, right? He gave up everything for God. So he was another Sacha Sauda person. The latest one, I'd say, because it's just, since he left the body, it's just 66 years or 67 years. So the latest one that is anything near any of these beautiful religious leaders is from Brahma Baba. So he was amazing. And that's, so now I would say, whatever was spoken through the mouth of Brahma is totally in line with every religious leader. If you look at it in its authenticity, not in translations, not in what the mass say, what the people or the public or the organizations or the religious leaders of today say. No. So it's more when you listen with the ear of truth and purity, and you see how Brahma Baba lived, and you see how he gave up everything, and how he learned to detach himself, and how he learned to become egoless, and how he left, the day he left the body, the 3 words he said, Nirankar, Nirakala, Nirvikar. Yeah, so that's what he lived by. And when he felt he had succeeded that, he left. Till he didn't succeed those 3, he couldn't leave the body, right? And he worked towards living those 3 words. Nirankar. Nirakar. Nirakar is beyond body. Nirankar is egoless. And Nirvikar, no vices. Kam, Krodh, Lobh, no Ankar, Alaspan, Albelapan, and all the branches of God. So we had a living example of Mahan Gopals. When you see what he spoke, and then it's so true and it's so simple, and it connects with, for me, because I'm born as a Sikh, so it connects with Gurbani. For somebody else, it'll connect to Christianity. That's why there's so many people, Christians there, connected to Christianity. So many Buddhists who connected to Buddhism. Because it's the same message from that one God Father, that Ekonkara. There's only one entity that is separate.
Beautiful, beautiful. And I think we can go on and on and on about this. It's vast, and we'll surely continue this sessions on Gurbani. And let me also go through Gurbani also a little bit so that I can come to clarify my own understanding of it also. And thank you so much for sharing all this. I believe we can go ahead with some question answers, and then we can go ahead with our meditation session. So if anybody has got any question and answers, you can ask Sister Amarjit, Dr. Amarjit, and you can find out if you have any questions and all. We are open for your questions for a few minutes. Even on the live, YouTube live, if you can type your questions on the YouTube live, I can share it with Sister and we can go ahead with answering your questions. Anyone with any questions? You can even type your questions if you have to. And we can still address your questions after the session. You can leave your comments in the YouTube channel where you're going to watch this beautiful session, and you can ask us questions and we can get back to you over there also. So I believe everybody is very clear about what you have said. And so if we don't have any questions, then let's go ahead. Let's have a meditation session in which we'll try to understand. And Sister, I believe you have taken meditation sessions even in Gurudwaras in I think US and Canada and other places, I believe. And let us experience that way of meditation, which we have been sharing. And I would request you to have a little audio control because your volume is coming a little lesser. So if you can increase your audio.
I think I'm on full volume, but the thing is when you get a bit connected.
Yeah, automatically. You don't feel like speaking. I understand that.
See, when you go into the realm of soundlessness, soul world is a soundless realm. So you automatically, your voice also is becomes very bass and very whisper mode. I've tried to keep a little eye on my sound being a bit loud. Maybe I'll come a bit more.
Yeah, please come a little closer because we would like to listen to every word which you say. Lovely. So let us sit straight and let us go ahead with the meditation session.
Yeah, and because we, as a Sikh woman, we always cover our head for. So I'm covering my head to do it in the traditional Punjabi way as a Sikh woman, and yet with the original, authentic message of our gurus, so that we can connect to Akal Puran. So I would say in Gurbani, I say, let's begin by chanting the Mool Mantra, which takes us into our authentic stage. Each word of the 9 words in Mool Mantra connect us to our true identity as soul.
Okay.
Begin. Ek Om Kam Sat Nam Karta Pura Nirvair Nirvair Akalamura Rajyogi Sevam Gurupasam Gurupasam. So मैं ज्योति बिंदु आत्मा, me, the sparkling point, the Omkar of the egg. I belong to the egg, and so that everybody, every soul, Omkar, creating destruction is continuous on me. Satnam, I am beyond name. I am beyond any physical identity. So I am his child. So I am the true name, just like him. Satnam. Karta. He is the creator to me in his image. I am the creator and the doer too. And I can create my destiny by connecting with him and taking on his power. Nirvana, nirvair, nirvana, beyond fear, fearless. I don't have to fear anything, for I have God as my Father. And I am brave and courageous to do, to speak the truth and to be the truth and to live the truth. Without hurting and harming anybody, without being strong, by being soft and sweet and innocent. Nirvana, nirvair, because no one is my enemy. Everyone is my friend, is my sibling soul. We are all children of that one KAUR. Nirvair. Akal Murat, Akal, beyond time. I am spirit, soul, Atma, beyond time. I come in the cycle of time, there on earth. For I belong to God. And each lifetime is just a bit of being stuck in time and then going beyond and then coming back in time and then going beyond. I am a power Murat. I am a point. I have a Murat. I have an identity. A June beyond life and death. June. June is beyond cycle of birth and death. He is beyond cycle of birth and death, and so am I, his child. A June. Sebam, beautiful word by Guru Nanak that says, I am self-eliminating. Sebam, I am energy. And now I give life force and life energy to this body in which I reside. Just as the sun gives life energy to this entire earth, and just as God is out there running this entire show, I am self-illuminated, self-energizing being. And I need to energize myself and recharge myself by connecting to him. So I am self-illuminated. I just need to remember myself and connect to him, to repower myself. So I can never be anything other than self. I will always be energy, and I can never destroy human, labor, poor person. By his grace, with his union, your Gurus, only by God, in union with God, and his grace and his union, succeed in moving and becoming and living each word, this beautiful line word. And we sing, Spirituality Gurbani, Gobind Milan ki तेरी बलिया और काज तेरे की नकाम मिल साध संगत पज जीवल नाम परापत मनिक देवलिया गोविंद मिलन की तेरी बलिया So whatever I do, I must do in union with him. Then it is possible. So Baba is talking about sukha. There's no vikram, there's no akara. Sukha, in union with him, I succeed this life's. So right now in my mind, I'm clear who I am, and I'm clear who you are, and we have. Use my thought, my vision, to creating this beautiful vision. So in my mind right now is only tu he, nothing. Tu he, tu he, he, tu he, tu he, tu he, tu he, tu he. Vaheguru, 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 Vahe Baba, Vahe Satguru, Vaheguru. For you are my father, you are my teacher, and you are the liberator. You are all true. Thank you for giving me this beautiful union. And as I stay in union with you, me and you in union together, I send rays of love and light, enveloping the entire world below, touching all souls on earth, spreading love to all the 5 elements on earth, sun, atmosphere, sun, water, all the 5 tattvas, and all the souls of all my relatives and family and friends, all the sparkling stars, so that we may delete karmic accounts with each other. Thank you, Baba. So I serve, and I can send energy to places on earth where there's turmoil and havoc, and I can send energy when I'm in union with the Father and do the service of sending energy to anybody who needs help. My friends who have cancer, sending energy to them where they heal, and those extra sick and have asked for my healing. I send love and light from God to their souls to heal them, and I send light to myself and the 5 elements of my body to keep this body healthy, so that I may live in this body to serve you and carry on serving. May I remain and remember to remember you all day, every day.
Thank you, sister. Thank you so much. And I could feel that you're going deeply in connection with the Supreme Creator. We call him as in Gurbani, Vaheguru. And in Brahmakumaris, we call him as our father, our teacher, and our sweet, sweet Satguru, and our Baba, sweet father. The father of all the souls that he is, and he's a point of light. That's what we have spoken about today. And beautifully said that at the end of Kali Yuga, Guru Nanak Dev Ji came and he tried to connect us with the Supreme Creator in the form of light, and he asked us to remove the consciousness of our body also.
And you know, the word Mool means foundation, the base of the entire Guru Granth Sahib. And Mool Mantra is telling you you're a soul and you're his child. Each word is telling you the description and the characteristics of a soul. So
beautiful. Beautiful. And his characteristics are actually even our characteristics. If he is fearless, then we souls are also fearless. Only if we consider ourselves to be souls. If we consider ourselves to be bodies, then we become fearful about death, about losing something, about losing money, losing loved ones. But if we are also Akal Murat, we also don't die, then there is no fear automatically. So his qualities of all, which has been mentioned in Japji Sahib, is actually even our qualities as his child. As the father, so the child. Beautifully explained.
you know, this Japji, can you see this? That's the copy of the Japji Sahib that I translated. That's right.
Oh,
and I put I put the universal light and Ekunkar, and I put the symbols of all religions, because universal message of Guru Nanak Devji, for everyone. And I've written, no, there's only one religion, the religion of love.
Lovely. And I think we can have this, we can share this with all those who are listening to this. And I'll put it across to all those who ask for it. And sister can share me a recording, e-recording, and I'll forward it to them also.
I'll share you the link of the 77 episodes in simple Punjabi. It's done in, but the Japji Sahib translation is in poetic English, in original Gurbani with poetic English. So that's nice universally for everyone. So I'll share that link. And the 77 episodes as well in simple Punjabi for anybody who wants to go deeper.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. And we had a valuable time with you and valuable sharing session with you. And we'll have much more coming in the future. So stay connected with us on this beautiful channel of Rajyoga Self-Healing Meditation. We are there for you, a non-profit channel, just for you, connect you to the spirit.
And I want to say thank you so much, because Sundays usually is a family day, and it's so sweet of you to have been asking me. And so I took this day that today is for serving, even though it's a Sunday. You know, usually I serve Monday to Saturday, and Sunday I just keep for the family because it's the only day. But thanks to you, I got this beautiful opportunity to serve. And thanks to Baba for reminding you to remember me and making me serve. Thank you so much, Baba.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Doctor. Thank you so much. Lovely to have you, and see you again. Thank you for joining us, all of you, all the listeners over here. Thank you. And we're going to put up this recording as a live recording on our YouTube channel. If you want, you can share it, and I'll be sharing this link with all of you. Please forward it to others and make their lives better and more valuable with these jewels of knowledge. Thank you so much. Om Shanti to all of you. See you again.